Hey guys, this is Miss Info from the morning meeting found on cmpradio.net, and you're watching feedbackthemagazine.com.
CMP Radio's main objective is to inform, educate, motivate, and inspire the masses with thought-provoking conversation while changing the landscape of the oldest city in the state of Pennsylvania. Welcome to feedbackthemagazine.com. I'm your host, Sonny Pinckney, and I have the members of CMP Radio, The Morning Show, John Pierre Bryce, and Nafati Williams. How you guys doing today?
Fine, yourself?
We're doing good, bro.
I'm living a dream. My first question is, how did you guys arrive at the concept of launching the radio station?
I wasn't a part of that.
She wasn't a part of that
system.
Part of that part. It's three people with the launching of the radio station. Myself, Charles Berkeley, and Joel Dodson. We were doing a radio station. You remember we were up at pqradio1.com with Purple Queen and Tommy. And I didn't feel like home once they moved to Philly. When they were in Chester, it was cool. But once they moved to Philly, I felt like, my city needed a voice. And it was hard to get people to come up there for interviews and to move up there. So it was like, all right, let's do our own thing down here. So I talked to Joel. Joel was involved with me as far as Revolutionary Minds was a show on pqradio1.com that we had started. And I said, listen, I want a station. And she was like, all right, well, let's see what we have to do to get that. Picked up the phone, talked to Chuck, told Chuck, I'm serious about this. I think we have an opportunity to really fill a void in the city as far as positivity, as far as motivating people to just go for their life goals. He was game, he was ready, and it was just about finding a space and coming up with the name. So CMP stands for Cultivating Mature Positivity, Constantly Making Progress, Chester-Made Products. So those two people were Joel and Charles Berkeley. They were instrumental in the founding of CMPRadio.net.
Now, do you guys feel like y'all the voices of Chester because you guys have a large viewership on social media? Do you guys feel like y'all the voices of Chester?
That's what we.
A voice in Chester.
Right, a voice in Chester. But we sought out to be a place where people can come, and that's the beauty of the radio station, that anybody from the city, outside of the city, can come to the station and give their energy to the people. A positive platform is what we strive to be. We do have jokes, we do laugh, we do have some conversations that are out of bounds. Shout out to Thursday, Parental Advisory, and we allow people to come up here and be themselves as long as they're giving positive energy to the community.
Now, my next question is, do you guys have any previous radio experience?
Never.
Prior to going to PQ Radio 1, no experience. No. So all of this is new. Trying to format shows and understand it. We just come up here and talk.
10, you sent me in the lion's den and let him abuse me. You knew what was going to happen.
So do you think she thinks, like, NWA came out with their movie, you feel me, that people are going to start making these biopics about artists and the way they live?
Yeah.
And she just wants her story to be
the one with
Michelle. Right.
The way she showed, who was that, Dre?
Right.
The way she showed Dre. We would have never thought that Dre did things like that.
Right.
She should have been did that. Because the next woman Dre was with, he dragged her too.
Like, she doesn't have a problem with going to the city hall meetings and calling out city council, calling out the mayor and saying, this is what our community needs and why aren't you listening? And I watched that for a long time. I think with everybody that's here, I've watched them either on Facebook or I've seen them in the community. Before I do something, I like to know that I can grab somebody to do it. When we were at Philly with Revolutionary Minds, a young lady named Fatima, she was very outspoken in the community and on Facebook. Brianna, Elise, she was a part of the Revolutionary Minds team. She was also very outspoken. So I reached out to them and said, listen, come up here to the radio station. I know y'all really don't have any experience, neither do I, and let's create something special. So when I started that show, it was basically broken down into 2 shows, but it was one show. It was 3 hours, and we broke it down into 2 shows because I figured if I wanted to start a radio station, I couldn't start a radio station with just one show.
Yeah.
I would need to be able to get the woman's point of view, the man's point of view, and also with Revolutionary Minds, it was like, we want to start a revolution. where we're waking people up to understand the importance of being involved in your community and giving good energy to your community. So while being in Philly, it was like, all right, let's go. Like I said, I can't pay anybody because we're not really making any money. So all of this is volunteer time.
Yeah.
You know, and people, you know, their lives come first, their children come first, their bills come first. So, you know, we had Chucky Johnson, we had Cedric Palmer, and DJ Wayne Stacks. That was all a part of the Revolutionary Minds crew. The original crew was actually Jazz, you know, Rome. So I've had several people to start the radio field for me, to get it moving. But right now it's me, Nav, and every other show that's on the station. And we have 13 shows on CMPRadio.net. Every day we're doing something, except for Saturday, try to get that day to the DJs, or for us to go out live and do like cover live events and things like that.
Now, my next question is, since you guys really don't have any background in this, could you guys see yourselves 10 years before this ever hosting your own radio show?
Never. It wasn't a goal of mine.
Yeah, I could have 10 years before this is crazy. About 2006, I don't know what radio show that was, but they were looking for the next Buck Wild, right? That was a joker that was on the radio talking real crazy, and at that time I was in a different profession. You know, I played the streets, so and I wanted to do it. And my wife at the time, I would always tell her, though, I want to do this, I want to do this. And the day before I submitted my my application to be the new Buck Wild, I got locked up. And it was surreal, because I was like, damn, I was just getting ready to drop this. I was getting ready to put it out there. It was my first time ever really doing something outside of that, you know, and I went in and I went to jail, and it was just like, all right, I'm done. I'm not going to dream again. You feel me? This is just going to be it. So, yeah, I could have saw myself doing it, but I never really had the ability to believe that I could do it myself. You know, I was used to doing things my way, and I was comfortable. I didn't want to change anything.
Now, do you feel that with the launch of this radio station that you got like a second chance in your life?
Absolutely. Shit, this ain't the second chance. It's more like the fifth. This is the fifth chance of me just trying to do it right. Nav has had the pleasure of talking to a couple people that knew my father, and now she sees like where it all comes from. I mean, my city, this city, Chester, is important to me. It was important to my grandmother. You know, it was important to her husband. It's important to my mother, and to see it be great. Like when my grandma used to tell me stories about Chester, I would walk down 3rd Street, and at the time it was a decaying and falling apart movie theater, but I would see the people. I just have that ability to see things before they're there or after they were there. Like I would see people moving, coming in and out of the joint. My grandma was like, why are you staring at it? My mom, is people walking in and out of the joint. Yeah, it was a movie theater right there, and it was bustling on 3rd Street, and it was doing this, and this was over here, and that was over there, and they had a guy that used to fix shoes right there on 3rd, and that's
After Flower Street.
After Flower, Rainy, 3rd and Rainy.
Yeah.
You feel me? And I used to take my shoes to him, and he would tell me about Chester and how this did this and how that.
John F. Kennedy came to Chester in the early 60s.
Right. And Martin Luther King came, and to know that the city at some point was bustling, and then it just goes from being a bustling growth hub to just not doing anything, not moving. It's been dormant because it hasn't really lost any of its luster. It's just that people forgot just how beautiful it was. So to have an opportunity to show people that we're great, that we're special, and that we're important, and you don't have to be negative to get likes, and you don't have to be negative, and you don't have to be demonstrative for people to follow you. I think it's something that we strive for here at the radio station, and that me and Nafati, we go back and forth with it all the time. Like this is the best way to do it, because we could easily be negative. We could easily be talking about everybody's business. You know, we could easily be saying, you know, F this, F that, and
but then what would we be fixing?
Right, we wouldn't be fixing anything. We'll just be doing business as usual. And I think business as usual is what we've been doing for the last 50 plus years. Somebody needs to do something different.
Now, this question is for the both of you guys. Do you all feel y'all see yourselves as journalists?
No.
She don't. I don't, but I kind of find myself right now in that mode of growing into it. I'm trying to get her to come with me and grow with me. You feel me? And I think we owe it to the people that are watching for us to know what we're talking about. So she researches. She don't have no problem with looking it up, and she don't understand that's a part of journalism. It's not so much writing; it's just knowing your topic when you're talking about it. And she's newsy, so but she'll never give it that professional name because she's about paperwork. So if she doesn't have the paperwork to say she's a journalist, then she's not going to admit that she is one. So she's a street journalist. Miss Info is what we call her.
Miss Info, you Miss like Info. That name?
Right.
I do. I do. If I don't have it personally, I can definitely find it. So, I don't find myself to be a journalist. I just find myself to be newsy.
Right.
In a good way, though. I'm not trying to find out your personal business. I just want to know what can you give to our community, because my community is very important to me. So I want to know what can you give to my community, and also, do you have a part of the plan to help us rebuild our community? So if you don't have either of those two, I really don't even have time for you anymore. And that's my thing. So
you're all about business.
Yeah, pretty much.
Pretty much.
Talk is cheap.
It really is.
Actions to me is everything. So when we talk about doing community services, just because you don't see us at the community service event doesn't mean we're not at the community service. It might not be me, it may be him. It may not be him, it may be me. So don't hold us both. It's different schedules for different people.
Right.
So if I can make the event, I'll make the event. If he can, he will. If we both can, that's a plus. But I will hold you accountable if you tell me you're going to be there.
Right.
And he says he didn't see you. So why weren't you there? I was told the other day they've never seen me at a community service event, and I think community service is 65% of my day.
Mm-hmm.
Now, does that bother you when detractors, say one thing about you guys, but once they get to meet you, they have a totally different perception?
No, it doesn't bother me. That's been my whole entire life. Well, since I've been old enough to display who I am. So that has always been that for me. So I'm the person that you want to get to know before you cast judgment about me, and going off of the word of mouth of somebody else is definitely not a good thing. So it took me a long time to be
comfortable in your skin.
No, transparent.
Transparent, okay.
Yes, and approachable.
Yeah, because I'm still working on it.
Yeah, I'm almost there. I'm almost there. Even I think you were a little frightened to speak to me too, so it's okay.
I didn't know how to gauge you at first.
Right, she's 40% there. Like I got another 60% to go, but she's taking steps even on her own. Like we'll text. Our text rate is crazy, and the way we communicate is awesome. But to see her go from the person, because I approached her at a gas station and asked her to be on the show just to come through and talk the first time, because she's passionate about this city and the way they treat the citizens. And she was like, no, I'm not coming up there. And my friend, a real good friend, a brother, I'm gonna call him a brother, Dante Hollis, was like, he's like, bro, like we gotta find you a co-host for the morning meeting. I'm like, yeah, we gotta find you a co-host for a morning show. You need to be doing a show every day. I said, bro, I don't know if I can do that. He was like, man, that's what's going to get everybody to understand what CMP is about. I said, well, the only person I could think of is the babe that be yelling on live all the time at City Hall. I said, she be sitting on her couch yelling. I said, I know her, you feel me? But I don't know her. So I don't think he was like, man, just go live, man. If she want to talk, this is the perfect platform. Once she see the platform and the power that she will be able to possess with the platform, she gonna come, bro. Like, listen, just go ahead. So we made the live video. We made the topic based on being the fathers in the community, men being men in the community, and where have the fathers gone. Knowing that was something that was dear to her heart and something that she would definitely put her input on. She was on the live for a good 25 minutes. I said, well, come up here to the station. She came up here to the station, and we sat here and we talked. And I said, listen, I need you. Like, I need you on the morning meeting. I want to do a show. At that time, it was Let's Talk. We were going to call it Let's Talk. And just come up here. Since that day, bro, she ain't missed a day. Like, since that day, she hasn't let me quit. And it's been days when I'm about to start crying. Right here. It's been days that I want to quit. Like, I want to not come up here. Because I'm sacrificing a lot. I'm not working behind all this. I can't. Like, we got 13 shows. Like, and somebody has to be here to engineer them, because that was another thing with the radio station. I wanted an engineer in the building. I didn't want people to have to be an engineer and a personality at the same time. That's hard.
Yeah.
To jump back there and control the sound and make sure the app's up and make sure the phone's up and make sure that's doing that. If I'm back there, I allow, when other shows are going, for them to be personalities. Now, when I'm doing the show, I have to be the engineer, but that's okay. You feel me? I don't have a problem with that. But that's why I have other personalities on the show. But me and her just sitting here doing this every day, man, and we very rarely miss a day. And if we do, we find somebody to fill in for us personally. If she's gonna miss some time, she finds somebody to come up here and sit with me. If I'm gonna miss some time, I'll find somebody to come up here and sit with her. But it's been 395 days, bro. Right?
Yeah.
395 days we've been doing this, man, and we very rarely missed a beat unless the equipment was down or was something out of our personal control. We rarely miss a beat, and to have somebody do that and stand here with me, man, it's amazing. It truly is.
So my next question is, since the 395 days of CMP Radio, what's the overall reception that you guys received from the city of Chester and its residents?
It's picking up. And the 395 days is for Let's Talk. Now, the morning meeting, the morning meeting, itself. The station itself is a little bit older.
Yeah.
It's about 2 weeks older, or 10 days older, right? So 400 and some idea.
Yeah.
But
I get a lot of positive feedback, and then it'll be one or two people who have something negative to say.
Yeah.
But then those one or two people will find out that we probably are the research that you need to get what you want done.
Mm-hmm.
So for the most part, I've heard continue to do what you're doing.
Mm-hmm. Every day.
You give us a reason to go to the school board meetings.
So I think that the school districts need smaller classrooms, more teachers that care, and we need to open up some of these schools that are now closed down to house some of these kids that are overcapacitated in the classroom. If you got 22 kids in the classroom, and the classroom assistant is easy. You got 11 kids and 11 kids. But if you have 35 kids in the classroom and one teacher, it's not enough people in there, enough adults.
At first, I thought we was just kind of sort of having general conversation.
Yeah.
So when it got to, it's about to be election time now, let's talk about that. And then, the school board has beat us in the head for this, now let's talk about that. So then when it became when it got to that point where it was serious conversation, it was topics that people needed to discuss, that people need to hear about, and information that people were lacking knowledge in. Once it got to that point, and I was like, these people is about to drag us through the mud. Like, everybody wants to say, you know how they say you playing God?
Yeah.
Like, so you when you go to church, you don't really believe in what you're doing?
Mm-hmm.
Well, at first I didn't believe in it. So people was like, you're a wannabe personality.
Right.
So, and it was said to me yesterday, the same exact thing. You want to be radio personalities. I said I never wanted to be anything more than myself. So when I get up there and I talk, I'm talking for me. I'm not talking for the personality that you see me to be. And I'm like, okay, well now I gotta do something better today. So I only curse 4 times a day.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a growth process. I said that to anybody that has said anything about us. If you're critiquing her, you're critiquing me. You know, because we're growing together. Like I said, I didn't have experience, 10 years experience at it. Did I want to do it? Did I want to get into radio? Absolutely. I went to college. I majored in communications, and then I majored in the streets for the rest of my life. So I saw something that I wanted to be involved with, but I didn't know how to get involved with it. With it being dropped in my lap and with people telling me to dream again, you know, I was able to do that. So here we are, cmpradio.net, going on day 406, and it's been a hell of a ride with everybody. You know, me and my partners, Chuck and Joel, they now see what I want for the station. They want the same things. We bridged over and started another partnership with Video Visions Pro. You know what I mean? With Amanda Johnson and her husband, Amir. Like it's just awesome to see the city come together and. It couldn't. I'm not gonna say it wouldn't happen if it wasn't for CMP, but I'm gonna say you wouldn't see it, right? Because a lot of partnerships happen behind closed doors. A lot of people have conversations, and she walks in on so many of them behind closed doors, and you would never know. But because of the radio station, we now visually give people that open door policy where you can build with us, we can build with you. Shout out to Johnny May Event, shout out to the Abstract King, shout out to everybody in the city that's doing something major for the city and they have a genuine love for the city. Shout out to Feedback the Magazine.
Yes.
You know, so when you bridge gaps and you work together, you can get anything done. There's nothing that can't get done. We can fix the city. We can fix the stigma that's attached to the city. We can bring people back that left and thought it wasn't nothing great here. And they can see what I saw 20 years ago. You know what I mean? Like a great city on the rise. You feel me? Doing things that people just don't always want to talk about.
Now, do you feel, because I know you personally, JP, and you're always talking about doing good things in your community, as a member of the CMP radio team, do you think that if it weren't for you guys, like I'll be honest with you, I would never have met you if it wasn't for CMP Radio.
We met before then.
Oh yeah, I know, but on a personal level,
right, absolutely.
With other entrepreneurs, do you take great pleasure in connecting other entrepreneurs from Chester that normally wouldn't connect with each other because of CMP?
I take great pleasure in knowing that they have a platform to come to promote themselves for other people that say, I do that too. To say, all right, listen, we need to come together and do something together. I take great pleasure in just knowing good people, right? And being able to, like I said, somebody said the other day, there was always fires burning in the city for positivity. It was a fire on the east side, it was a fire on the west side, it was a fire in Middletown, it was a fire in the Bennett, it was a fire in the McCab, but they were never brought together. Right? We burn one big fire in the center of the city, we can light the whole city. You know what I mean? So the independent fires, the independent positivity need to come together. So I'm not gonna say I take great pride in it because I'm still building CMP. Like CMP is still growing. So there are people that have been doing what they've been doing for years and they are at a different level than I am. So I just welcome the opportunity to inspire people, motivate people, and build with people every day.
Now, also, this question's for you, not for T. What impact has the radio station made on the city of Chester, you believe?
So, I think it was the third day I was here. He told me accountability was the new religion. So, the impact that it's made is togetherness and accountability. If you say you did it, we need proof. If you say you're going to do it, we want to see you do it. So he got a whole bunch of people together, told them that they can do whatever it is that they want to do as long as it's within the positive range. And those people told other people who told other people. So togetherness is something that he kind of sort of brought to us all. And I don't think he realizes exactly what it is that he's brought when he opened his mouth and said, I'm going to start a radio station for Chester. And everybody kind of sort of thinks your dream is a joke because it's not their dream. So when your dream starts to come true in front of the eyes of the people who doubted you, it's like so much more amazing than you could have ever imagined. So with him bringing, I would have never known any of the people that I know now. A year ago, I didn't know any of these people. I knew him, but I didn't know anybody else. So when he brought me in the first meeting, I'm like, who the heck are these people? So then listening to each and every person say, well, I do this and I do that. I'm like, I was at one of them meetings. Why I've never seen them? I wasn't looking for him then. So the radio station is a great eye opener for our city. It speaks positivity 100% of the time. And like, if you ever hear people say, it was a buzz, so what's up with this CMP radio? What's up with the CMP radio? So people started to look for it. So now that they know where it is, now they all want to share their stories. Now they all want to do something. So he brought us all together on one accord, and every time he opens his mouth, he says something great, and he starts a movement for something better. So I think that was what he did when he brought this here.
As natives of Chester, does it bother you? Let me repeat that again. As natives of Chester, does it bother you when the mainstream media cover negative topics about the city of Chester, or convey stories about the city of Chester?
Nope.
I like that lame stream media.
Lame street. Let me write that down.
I'm like, that's his though. You got to give him credit for that. You can't be stealing though. Got to trademark that.
That doesn't bother me. What bothers me is when the residents of Chester
Believe it.
Number one, believe it and feed it.
Right.
So here's my thing. If I did something wrong in the city of Chester, and it shouldn't be national news. It shouldn't even be local news. If I did something wrong in the city, and the way the news gets it is from someone in the city. So it disappoints me more when our residents here tell the bad, but won't shed light on the good. So the lamestream media,
Yeah.
they can have their own perception, but they're not here.
Right.
So whatever they have to say about us, it's a shame to compare Chester to Christ, but they talked about Jesus, so why wouldn't they talk about us? So my whole thing is, when negative things happen here, we try to spin it with 5 more positive things.
Right.
They'll never come and notice the positive.
Never.
Prime example is last year's homecoming. Someone frantically pushed the 911 button, and they were there before the officers could even respond from the top of the block.
Right.
So they were there, and I said, well, are you going to take pictures? Like, now everybody's antagonizing. Are you guys going to take pictures? Like, look at this great turnout and blah, 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 blah. Like, you got here so fast because you thought it was a fight.
Right.
But you didn't want to cover this whole positive movement that we have going on. You got over 2,500 residents here at one time. And they don't, but they never want to see that. And he said,
because negativity sells.
yes. And that's absolutely the truth. And he said they don't fear us at our most say it. They don't fear us at our most aggravated state. They fear us at our calmest.
Right.
So it was nothing for them to give the world to see Chester in a good light.
Right.
So we have to do that. The citizens have to focus on it.
That energy, that positive energy is more contagious than negative energy. I think we watch movies. They've come out with movies where the zombie movie that was out back in the day where they said the reason the zombies broke out, it was hate that had the zombies moving like that. Like it's contagious. When you smile at someone, they should be able to smile back. Mm-hmm. That's how you know it's contagious. If I frown at you, you'll look at me like I'm crazy. It'll take you a minute to understand it. I will have to do something aggressively outside for you to be like, oh yeah, hate is in this room, or I have to say something. But a smile is so contagious that if I smile at somebody 9 times out of 10, they're gonna smile back. So when you realize that positivity is way more contagious than negativity, and you don't have to necessarily, doesn't have to be pointed directly at you. You know, you think about a puppy. You see a puppy, you see a video of a puppy or a cat on Facebook. People like that. Like the shit goes viral, but you'll rather see a fight than look at a puppy or a cat. You don't want those, oh, he's soft, he like cats. Oh, he's soft, he like dogs. No, I really just don't want to be upset today. I don't want the negative energy or to be hype over somebody getting beat up. So when we come together as a community, when we come together as a people, I just want good energy to be given out. That's it. I mean, we have some of the smartest people in our community. We have some of the smartest people as a people, as black people. And we just need to be able to utilize that. Everybody's opinionated. Everybody has their opinion on why they don't like onions, why they like cheeseburgers, why they go to McDonald's, why they go to Burger King. And that's fine, and that's okay, but that opinion shouldn't stop us from working together. You shouldn't stop working with somebody on something positive just because they want to eat a certain type of burger or they like something else. That's your opinion, that's okay. But we have a mission as a people to fix the things that we've broken, and we're all somewhat responsible for breaking it. Me and Nafati might take more responsibility because we took part in the negative behavior. Mm-hmm. But someone who is positive has a responsibility because they walked away and they did not try to come back and fix it. You know, if you made it out of the ghetto or the hood, as they call it, she doesn't like that connotation, but you see it out there, Eric. Yeah. If you made it out and you made it to another element, then you have something to come back and give. Right? You should want to come back into that element and grab at least 2 children to show them that there's a way out. You feel me? I mean, by doing that, you're brightening the people that are around you to say, maybe I should focus on bettering myself so that I could possibly get out. If not get out, make my situation better. You don't have that. So when we went through everything we went through, and we say it all the time, we ask a lot of men that come up here, a lot of men that played in the streets, when did you grow up? When did you become a man? And most men say 33, 35, 34, that's when the light kicks on. number one, you're getting tired. You're starting to get tired of doing the same thing. You did the same thing for 17 years. Like, you should be tired of running the streets. You should be tired of ducking the police and going back and forth to jail. Then if you've come home and you've tried to get your life together, you realize that it wasn't as hard as you thought it was. It's actually easy. And you should have listened to the old heads that was telling you didn't want this work. But we tend to know, or tend to think we know what's best for us at a young age. So being in this city and seeing a gap and understanding that there are people on both sides of the fence that want good, I just wanted to be that tree branch to let people climb across to the other side and say, yo, it's great over here. Now I want to build a bridge. The tree branch is here and there's enough people on this side where we got enough people to build a bridge back over. Let's do that. So that's all CMP is, man. That's really, in a nutshell, what CMP thrives off of.
Anafa T said a few minutes ago that the media, she doesn't really care about what the mainstream media reports on in Chester.
Right.
What are some positive stories that for people who aren't familiar with Chester or just pass through by driving through I-95 or the Blue Route that you can tell those individuals about Chester?
You was asking me?
Yeah, well, I was asking both of y'all.
Okay, so let's see. We can go by the months. This is November. We have Thanksgiving Day dinner for the community on the 18th. The Ave is now starting a new Christmas for the community on the Ave for Christmas Day. No, for 2 days before Christmas. So what's that? The 23rd.
23rd.
Our community has so much great. It's not just a sports town. So we have the arts program. We have the different coat drives.
Right.
See, everybody wants us to focus solely around when we come together for homecoming,
Right.
and that's only a 3-year event that's been going on. So that should not be our focal point. Our focal point is everyday community service. We got last Sunday supper at it was at the Salvation Army. We're now looking for a new facility. We had you got Emory Foley with a sock drive. You got Class of 99 with a coat drive. You got 94 with a canned goods drive. Everybody's doing something great. This is just not at the time of giving, like during the holiday time. This is all year long. You have the Black College Tour, the HBCU College Tour that is funded by our city, by different organizations throughout the city. You have the youth football organization and the Chester Panthers. You have a lot of great going on here in the city. The Chester Panthers took a chance on a kid with cerebral palsy and gave him a position on the field and made that kid feel like one of the most amazing people in the world. And then you have the greats that have gone on. You have the Jalil Beats, the Ronell Williams, the Rondé Jeffersons, and they are people who are constantly here in our community today. So they haven't gone on and left us. They gone on, made good, and came back, like he said. So these are great focal points. So with that being said, I think that if they focus more on those on our everyday instead of our every now and then, they would be like way more encouraged to come here. They don't fear coming here because we see them all the time. Mm-hmm. I think they make the excuse, you can't go there and feel safe, so we won't come. They don't want to support us. So when there's good things going on, no, they won't come. But you will come through the bad? That doesn't make sense. Like, why would you come and they said they was shooting instead of come and say they was feeding the homeless? Mm-hmm. You got Brennan with haircuts for homeless. Like, our city produces great things all the way around the board. So we have the first black nurse practitioner over Crozier graduated from Chester High. So it's like you have the great things here. We know they're here. If we, the people of Chester, stop promoting negativity and start shedding more positivity, they too will understand, oh, well, it's something there.
Now, are you done?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. With the influx of internet radio shows or internet media, do you feel like you guys have started a blueprint for black media, not only in Chester, but in the surrounding counties or local districts or cities?
I mean, the blueprint was already laid out for me. Get the app, get the microphones, get the laptop, and just do it. So it's real simple, but I think the only thing that makes us any different is the message. You feel me? It's not. It encompasses every part of our community. If you look at the radio station, man, like I said, we got 13 shows, bro. We rock Monday through Friday, and then we start back up Sunday through Friday, and then we start back up all over again, man. Like Sunday's Good Brother Talk, Sisters, an hour with Polo. Mondays JR Kicks, Yes God Radio. Tuesdays Queen and King Talk. Wednesdays Chop It Up. Wednesdays The Wellness Police. Thursdays Living with a Purpose. Yes God Radio, Parental Advisory. Fridays Feel Good Talk, No Filter Show. So we encompass every part of our community. I think that's the one thing that someone could take and be like, you know what, if you're gonna do it, you have to involve everyone. Everybody has to feel like they have a voice. If it's just one person always talking, then people are gonna feel like, I don't wanna hear that all day. You know what I mean? But to allow everyone to have a voice, to allow everyone to be a part of something special is truly amazing. So yeah, I think the blueprint was laid out for me. The station wouldn't be here, number one, if it wasn't for people that have already been in the industry. Purple Queen, No Q Tommy at PQ Radio. Sam at Bestcore Radio. Doughboy and Jalan at WZTO Radio. So like those three entities helped birth CMP because I sat down and talked with each one of those people, you know, about what I wanted to do and how I wanted to do it. My way of doing things is a little different than their way of doing things, and that's okay, because everybody's successful in the way they do things. Yeah. You know what I mean? So I don't just know that if anybody has a plan or a desire to start something, I'll sit down and talk with them just like they sat down and talked with me. You know what I mean? And try to guide them in the right way, in the right direction of what I think works.
Now, John Pierre Nafati, you guys just recently interviewed the mayor of Chester, Thaddeus Kirkland.
We did that. And Yes God, Kev, Yes God.
Yes, shout out to Yes God.
Black men don't speak.
Quiet.
Shout out to him.
Quiet guy.
Okay.
Quiet.
Now, for the people out there that you talked to out in the streets, was there any information that was said by Mayor Kirkland in that interview that the people of Chester did not know or realize?
We need more police presence. We need more policing, community policing. They don't know our residents and things like that. Our crime is up. I don't know what your stats say. I just know that I live in a city where I know that someone just died on Berkeley Street, sitting in a car, 18 years old. So I know that the crime is up. I know personally from what I see going on in the city.
See, and I don't know if I'm supposed to provide you with this information, but I will.
If it's public record, please do. If it's not, don't.
I'm gonna provide you with this information. You said someone just died in the car, or died on 8th Street, sitting in the car, Butler Street, Wellness Street, sitting in the car. Mm-hmm. He didn't just die in the street.
He was murdered.
He was here to sell a substance, and it was a deal going bad.
So if we know all of that, then why don't we have the murderer in custody?
We're working on that.
Because right now, if we do the math, it's like 249 unsolved murders out of, I'm gonna give it like 300. So that's only like 7% of murders being solved. And this is in a 10-year gap. So this doesn't only fall under your administration, but it kind of sort of does because you've been a state rep. So here,
so
I'm moving kind of fast.
So by me being state rep, I'm responsible for.
No, I think you're
the
responsible.
Number of murders.
No, but you are responsible for our city as well.
But I'm responsible as state rep. Now watch this.
No.
As state rep, I'm responsible. I'm over. I got 10 municipalities.
Right. Okay.
10 of them.
Right. And your office is here.
Watch this. Not only did I have 10 municipalities as state rep, I also was trying my best to give my own city under other administrations. I won't mention name, other administrations, hundreds of thousands of dollars, at least $500,000 to make sure that they could better equip their police officers, better equip their police force. You know what they said? They wouldn't take it. Why? Because I had a D in front of my name. But guess who did take it? Chester Township took it. Ridley took it. Marcus Hook took it. Trainer took it. Upland took it. Chichester took it. Upper Chichester took it. All the other municipal Parkside took it. All the other municipalities took the funding, the grants that I was able to bring here, but my own community under another administration refused to take the funding.
Okay, so this was when the Republicans were in office. That's when they refused to take it.
Exactly.
So basically, we place blame instead of coming together.
I'm not placing blame. I'm giving you factual information. Mm-hmm. That's why I'm here, and I'm so glad I'm here because I want to help you. I want to help you and provide you with factual information. Mm-hmm. So when folks bring false information, you can back it up with the facts.
Right.
That's why I brought that.
Absolutely. This
is why I bring this. This is a book of all my legislation down to now. You can't have this.
Okay.
But I'll let you see it.
Okay.
But this is my book of all my legislation from the very first day I walked into the House of Representatives. Mm-hmm. Because there's some folks that don't believe that, well, he probably ain't introduced any legislation. Here's all of it. Here's all of it. One of it even talks about, because we talk about our history, mm-hmm. and I try to get folks understanding our history, and concerning persons like the late Willie Mae Leake, the first African American female mayor here in this city, mm-hmm. who was not only a mayor, but she was a undertaker, a business owner, mm-hmm. who gave back to families who could not afford to bury their loved ones. What did I do? I said, you know what? I'm going to see if I can push to get the 291 named the Willie Mae Leake Memorial Highway. Mm-hmm. And I got it done. But you know what happened? That other administration, mm-hmm. as we were getting ready to put everything in place, changed the name to Rosa Parks Memorial Highway. I love Rosa Parks. Rosa Parks was great. But Rosa Parks never came to Chester. Willie Mae Leake did. Huh. And so that's part of the history that we want to share. I just want to make sure that as we share information, it's factual. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I think the one thing that we have right now with the radio station and your ability to come up here and sit down and talk to the people and to give them this information that you have a lot of residents that are upset. And rightfully so. The school district is defunct. The city is defunct. The police department is defunct. We're about to tear apart the fire department. So in all of this, we have
factual information.
We have two fire departments, right?
Yeah.
Right. And we're talking about consolidating into one. To some people, that would assume that you're tearing it down. When you go from 2 to 1, that says you're eliminating something.
We're not tearing. We never said we're going to tear down the fire department.
Okay.
We never said.
But we're consolidating.
We talked about building a state-of-the-art fire department. So that was not agreed upon.
All right.
So we didn't do it.
We didn't do it. Okay.
I mean,
but I'm just saying what people hear. And this is what people hear, and it could be because, like you said, they don't come to city council meetings, they don't go to school board meetings. So we at the station, we urge people to come out mm-hmm. and be a part of that. We also would urge you to come up here and talk to the people once a month. You know what I mean? And take their questions where maybe they're not yelling at you, but they're typing it in here, and we can ask you those questions, and you can talk to your constituents, and they can have a better feeling for you. I don't see you as a bad person. I know you're one man, right? You can't fix everything that's wrong with this city.
Nice guy.
You feel me? Like you can't fix everything that's wrong with the city, but taking on the mantle of mayor, you now take on the responsibility and accountability of us all. You know, we look to you for leadership. We look to you for direction. So when we don't see you, when we don't hear from you, we think you don't care. It's like a child coming home and the mom is upstairs in the room all day. Like, don't nobody love me. So you have a city full of residents that feel like don't nobody love them.
Absolutely.
And they don't know that they can come out and do it themselves. So having a conversation and talking to them and saying, listen, yes, the city is in a bad way, mm-hmm. but to fix it, we must do more. You spoke earlier about your daughter going to Strathaven. That was one of the worst mistakes. You felt like she should have stayed here. Is that because of the disconnect that you see in her, you know, when dealing with the city? You feel me? Because I see a lot of people that went to school outside and come back, they don't have that connection to the city, and they don't feel like, they just be like, oh, Dad, don't worry about that. It's no big deal. So a lot of people were asking, like, if you love the city so much, why not improve it for your children?
Right.
If your children are going to school, if you know your kids are going to school, you know this is, and I know the back and forth. Listen, you know, I was in the middle of it. I was politics to me is a politics. If you can't fix the city together, right? Republicans, Democrats work together to fix the city. I feel like they should.
Absolutely.
Let me say this, because you're saying a lot, and I guess folks asking the question: if I love the city so much, why don't I fix certain things? Let me say this. I'm probably one of the few public servants / politicians that when it came to working with the school districts, that would close his office, and I said this before, on a Friday, and go to the school and take my entire staff, not for a week, not for a month, but for years, to go work with the students and the teachers at the school district. My wife and I used to go to Columbus every day to volunteer at Columbus Elementary School. We would go, and I would go in some of the classrooms and work with the teachers every single day. Now, did I see a whole lot of other people there? No. And I continue to go to these schools. I continue to volunteer my time. I continue to, I wish I could, but I'm not. I'm just not omnipresent. Right. I'm not God.
Right.
But I do know that I get around just about everywhere in this community. Someone just asked me today, I met with a senator out of Philadelphia, and they wanted to have a breakfast meeting with me. And they said, well, can we have this breakfast meeting? I said, come on down here to Cambridge. I got to go to work, right? I said, Cambridge, what's that? I said, come downtown Chester to Cambridge. And then when they came into Cambridge, they're looking around, and all, Chester folks coming in and out, and they looked at me and said, where's your police detail? I said, police detail? He said, but you're the mayor, you're supposed to have a police detail. You're supposed to have police always around you. I said, these are my people. I said, if I can't if I'm scared to govern my people, I don't need to be mayor. Firefighters have not missed a check.
What about the police department?
They've not missed a check.
What about the insurance payments for the city?
They've not missed a check.
The insurance, at one point in time, the city, maybe that wasn't under your administration?
It's not missed a check.
Okay. So if they've never missed a check.
And the whole time I've been mayor, they've never missed a check.
Oh, so it wasn't your administration?
Oh, I don't know about previous administration, but I just know that they've not missed a check.
So is
Go
is the financial records for the city public record?
Yes, it is.
Where it's being spent? Is every dollar accounted for?
Yes, it is. You can just come. All you gotta do is it's open records.
It's open records.
Mm-hmm.
So that means if I come over to your office tomorrow, number one, I won't be escorted out to say I'm unruly. And then number two, I can say, well, I need to see the financial records. I need to see the money that came in, and then I want to sit down and I want a detailed record of what's going on. Like, where did it go out to? Would I be given that information?
We will be able to give you some things. Some things are, I would deem confidential.
Mm-hmm. That'd be the black lines that be in the little pamphlets.
But let me put it this way: I'm a black man.
Mm-hmm.
If there was some underhanded or thievery within the administration, I'd be in jail right now. Right now, I'm a black man. Mm-hmm. I'd be in jail. They would find it. They have found ways. I just saw one of my colleagues. Mm-hmm. And she's a good person. She's a good friend. I just saw one of my colleagues lose her position as a state representative for $4,000. $4,000 because somebody set her up. Mm-hmm. I'm a black man, and so if it looked like I took a dime, they would throw me under the jail. The new initiative, we have a couple of things lined up. One of the things, and I'll share this with you. I think this is important. We are working in past times. It was this thought that this administration, just in particular myself, was putting forth this effort to sell the Chester Water Authority, and that has never been on our mind. I've been partnering with Frank Catania, Executive Director of the Chester Water Authority. There is a great opportunity that if we can work through the bumps and the wrinkles whereby this city will be able to rise up out of Act 47. In Act 47, we're basically controlled financially by the state. We'll be able to stand on our own financial feet if we're able to. And Frank Catanian, myself, and Councilman Jacobs, and members of the council, and others have been working real hard. And our goal is to have this finished before year's end, this deal that we're working on, that will bring together a partnership like never before and provide this city with enough finances and continued finances that we can pull up, not only pull up ourselves by bootstraps, we can buy some new boots.
So it was talk around town that said that one of the fire stations will be shut down. How true is that, and how true is it that the fire station will be centralized to Columbus, if possible?
This is what we had talked about. Act 47 had made a comment saying, or made a recommendation that we close up one of our fire stations in order to save money. Mm-hmm. I, in turn, told them, and also they said we want to lay off, they want us to lay off firefighters. Number one, we let them know we weren't laying off any firefighters. Okay. That wasn't happening. I said to them, build us a first-class fire station in our city, one that has banquet facility areas just like they have in Claymont, Delaware, by the waterfall, just like they have in Eddystone. All around us are first-class fire stations. They hemmed and hawed. They didn't want to do that. And a lot of times, and that would have housed everything. Okay. And if we would have placed it in a central location. The firefighters, they want both their building here and here. And that's fine. Okay. That's fine. But now we have two antiquated fire stations. And sooner or later, they're going to say, you know what? These fire stations are outdated. Okay. And we'll be past that piece. And it won't be any fault of this administration because all we wanted to do was upgrade and bring them up to speed.
Everybody has assumptions on how things work. So I mean, there could have been a couple things that he said that people didn't know about, and there could have been a couple things that he elaborated on. First of all, everybody was like he was talking too low, so they couldn't really hear what he was saying. Like I've gotten that, you know. But I think it was very, very gentlemanly of him to come up here and talk to the radio station. I think as a public servant, that's the one thing that you have to do. You have to be able to address your constituents. You have to be able to address the people that vote for you. And you have to be able to address the public. So for him to come up here and it not be a city ordained situation, meaning the city didn't control anything that went on in this room, that he came in here and he became a free spirit entity basically, and come up here and have a conversation with us and allow us to question him, because a lot of the questions were coming from the people. They weren't coming from us, you know, and for him to answer the questions as best as he possibly could, and for us to give him insight on how the community sees him, like what they really want from him. I get it. This city is distressed. Our school district is failing. Our city is under Act 47, so it's a distressed community. It's labeled under that as such. So the attitude and the energy of the people is distressed. It's failing. I said something about a smile, and a lot of people got upset over that, but I said, I get it. You can smile, but a lot of people can't afford that luxury. My grandma kissed me every day dropping me off at Chester High School. Kissed me in front of thugs. You feel me? Jokers that didn't get kisses. You know what I'm saying? Jokers that probably didn't get a hug. So when she did that to them, I looked soft. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. I looked to them like I didn't understand their struggle. And there's nothing wrong with a smile. Like I said, the proper smile placed at the right time can work miracles. But for people struggling, to see you always smiling and they struggling, like they feel some type of way. So contentment is built up. And now every personal thing that you do is scrutinized. Every time something goes wrong, you're scrutinized. And it might not even fell on your watch. but he's scrutinized by that. And I know Nav has some things she probably wants to say based on that, but I think I think it was a good thing for him to come up here and sit down with us, and I look forward to him coming back. He's been offered the opportunity to come back in a month, and we do this every month. He addresses the city monthly, so they know what's going on. So he understands and has a feel for his city and his community. How do you think it went?
Oh, I thought the interview went wonderful. I don't think we got to cover as much as we could have. Some of the questions and answers were drawn out far too long. So I know that the community has more for him. I thank them. I couldn't thank him enough for coming to sit with us. He's always had an invitation. He's always been invited. I guess he was just too busy, and it's always a good time to come after everybody starts saying, well, why haven't you gone to go sit with them? Like, what is the issue? So now you can either say one of two things. I didn't have time and now I do, or I was never invited. But you can't say that because that's not the truth. So, but outside of all the questions that was asked, people were like, I just needed like 10 more minutes because it was just getting good. And then it was said, they kind of sort of felt like he was running from some of the questions. So he was like dancing around them. Now this is my community feedback. And then some of the questions he couldn't answer. And as I told him, if you can't answer that question, like, don't answer it. Like, I would never jeopardize your job. I do know this, that being in his position, people no longer see him as Mr. Kirkland from 8th Street. They see him as the mayor, and they want answers because they feel as though they pay his salary. They feel as though we pay taxes, we pay you. So people no longer see him and forget that he's human and he can't save the world. So I don't personally think he's coming back, but if he does, I'll be ready then too.
So you would be shocked if he does?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah, because I think he only came because of the fire that was put underneath of him. I don't think he came because I don't think it was something he wanted to do. So I didn't set up the interview. I've offered several times. I know Pierre has offered several times, but Anye called and set the interview up. So I think it was more so people were asking, why hasn't he sat with the radio station in Chester, if it's in Chester, if it's for Chester, if it's this, if it's that. So finally he came, and I just don't see him coming back. I just see him being too busy to come back.
Now, speaking with Chester city government, have y'all inquired about interviewing like the city council persons?
Well, we've already sat down with William Morgan. I think we're going to reach back into our bag and see if we can pull out Al Jacobs, Portia West. I mean, all of these people are to be held accountable to their community. Period. If you're voted into office, you are now at the behest of the people that voted for you, whether you feel as though they voted for you or not. I think as I say it all the time, politics is a tricky business. I don't like it because I don't think it was a system that was built entirely for us to benefit us. I think it's another way to cause confusion inside of an already broken struggle. I feel like if Republicans and Democrats just put the titles away and worked on fixing a city, then we would do much better like that. Because of the titles, it's always the Republicans fixed it better, the Democrats fixed it better. Instead of just saying we're trying to fix it as a whole, I need a grouping to be responsible for the school district being great. But when it's terrible, you don't want to take credit for that. If you had control of the city for 10 years and the school district is defunct, that happened under your watch. If you had control of the city for 20 years and the city is now a distressed city, that happened under your watch. I can't give somebody 4 years of control and say, all right, it's their fault, everything's fucked up. I can't give somebody 8 years of control and say the same thing. Like, it's been happening for a long time. People didn't pay attention when it was happening because it didn't harm them because they had plans on either moving out or taking their kids to a different school district or doing something else. So I just want to get away from all the labels. If we can get away from the Republican and the Democrat label and say we're all Chestorians and we want to see this city do better and we want to see it thrive again, then I think it'll work. But outside of that, it'll always be, I didn't do it as bad as you, or I did it better than you. And you can't give me better at this point. There's nothing you can do except for make that school district, bring that school district back to where it needs to be, improve the buildings that we do still own, bring the infrastructure back into the city, and bring the city out of being a distressed city. Until you do that, I don't want to hear about anything. I really don't. So people have work to do, both sides, both Republicans and Democrats. If you care about the city, whether you're in office or not, you should be working. You feel me? If you care about the city and you're in office, you should be able to reach across the aisle and say, listen, I need help. Some of the brightest minds are on both sides. They can come together and fix the financial situation. Some of the brightest minds are on both sides. They can come together and fix the school district. But you got to be able to put that pride to the side and say, all right, listen, I might not be in office, but I have an idea that could work. Will y'all listen to me? And the people in power have to be able to say, you know what, yes, we do need your help because we're trying to figure it out. That's with whoever's in office. If the Republicans were in office and we were still a distressed city and the school district was still messed up, I would say the same thing to them. So it's not a party affiliation. It's not me attacking the Democrats. It's not me attacking the Republicans. I just want things to be better. And as she writes notes and tells me what I need to know.
Okay, a couple more questions. Do you guys believe that CMP Radio, y'all news outlet, will change the people's view of the city of Chester?
Absolutely. If it hasn't begun, they will soon understand. I received an inbox from a Caucasian teacher at Chester High, and she stated, I watched you live interview the mayor of Chester. She says, we need more people like you who genuinely care because parents don't. So she saw it, and she's not from here. She said, I don't live here. She says, I have an hour and 45-minute commute to come here. So because she saw it, I know other people see it too. I believe that because we have people who live in different areas who have shows here, and they have different classes of friends, and then they also have their jobs, I believe that them talking about CMP Radio and what's going on is intriguing to others, and now they're all gravitating to, oh well, this is local news. You asked a question earlier about the blueprint, and he said that the blueprint was already written for him. However, all of those people who had a part in the blueprint were writing it for themselves, as well as their focus is on people of power, so to speak, and celebrities. Our focus is on us and the community. Us meaning the Black American and the community in which we live in. So we don't focus on the hip hop world or the soap opera world, or we focus on the reality of what's right in front of you and how do we fix that. So I believe that when people see the label cmpradio.net, they know now, oh, that's the Chester radio station. You can find it on the internet. And he's trying to get a low power antenna so we can go,
So we can be a real radio station. I mean, that's the plan.
We are a real radio station.
You know what I mean? FM, AM, so we can be on the dial inside of a car.
You can be on inside the car. They're actually, the cars are turned over to internet now.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right.
So we are a real radio station. When people say things like your little show and your little station,
does that offend y'all?
No.
I pull it out.
They don't want the stats. They don't really want to see the stats. See, because people are the opinionated people. I find them to be small-minded, because if you only think that the people that live here in the city are the only ones who watch us, and you don't watch us, then why are we still here? So I tell them, I said, we are all across the United States now. We are working on expanding to different countries. Right. So we've opened up our friends list. We tell people all the time, go like the CMP Radio, cmpradio.net Facebook page. We got phone checks. I phone checked in the whole the city the other day. So we those people who say we're only city bound. Well, one of our number one supporters is in Tampa, so that's in Florida. Then, I know several in Georgia.
Right. I know
California,
Arizona.
They come on and they shout out where they're from.
Right.
I watch you guys every day. Then now we're YouTube subscribed, so that's a whole another demographic of people. So never keep your mind based solely on your city when there's a whole world out there that's paying attention to you. Somebody else is going to follow his dream, and they're going to say, well, if he did it, then we can do it.
Right.
And it will be a younger person coming up that will say, so you remember that guy that was on the radio, and every time he had on a hat, and they'll be talking about him.
Right.
Steve Harvey is known for his suits. He's known for a hat. If he doesn't have on a hat, it's an issue.
like you said, like the teacher that you talked to over at Chester High, you don't know the reach that she has or the people that she knows.
Absolutely.
And it's like a domino effect. Like she could put her friends or colleagues on to CMP Radio, so you never know who's watching.
Absolutely.
Now, in retrospect, is there an interview or something that you guys did while you were on air that you guys would do differently?
No. I think we've handled everything accordingly at the station. I don't think we would change anything that we've done because it has allowed us and afforded us the opportunity to be ourselves. Yeah. You know, if we were to change anything, it wouldn't be us.
It wouldn't be real.
Right. So I think no, I wouldn't. I mean, are there some interviews that I want? Absolutely. Yes. Absolutely. I want to sit down with some people, but
we coming for them.
We coming for them. Senators, congressmen. When it comes to this city, the people that truly affect change in this city are not located in this city. You know what I mean? We know that. People that stop funds from coming in, people that stop things from opening up. You know, we want to be able to reach those people, and we coming for them, though. Like it's no doubt in my mind that we'll get there to that
Maybe
point.
Biden, because he lives right in Delaware.
Right. I mean, but Biden doesn't. He's not Pennsylvania. I mean, even though he has power, you understand what I'm saying? So if I could talk to him, then that would get us to other people. So yeah, I will reach out to. I'm not objective to reaching out to outside people to get to other people because certain people pull other people's strings. You know what I mean? So yeah, that's not a bad name. I might write him a letter too. Okay. But the thing is, we're not solely focused on, and we love hip hop. Don't think the radio station doesn't play music because it does. It plays the R&B's at night. It plays. And we have DJ mixes on Saturday. So we are a radio station and we do play music. But to get to the people, we had to play music. They don't want to hear talk all day. You know what I mean? They want to jam. They don't want to be responsible. They want to be held responsible 24 hours a day. Some people want to have that 2-3 hours where they just get to lay back and listen to something and dance. So, you know, we do give that respite of responsibility. But other than that, like we coming for everybody, bro. We want to talk to everybody. If you're doing something positive out there, come up here to the radio station. We might gain you some new fans, you know, as well us dealing with you might gain us some new fans, you know. That's synergy. What you have might benefit me, and what I have might benefit you. Who am I to say I shouldn't build with you? I shouldn't talk with you. I shouldn't sit down with you. That's selfish. You know what I mean? Especially if I want to see something grow.
Now, going forward, where do you see CMP Radio a year from now or 10 years from now?
Right. A year from now, I would say the morning meeting will be formatted completely, and we won't be. But I think that's us, though. That's us. So a year from now, I say we just plugging away, man. We're gonna keep plugging away. We're gonna keep coming for what we deserve, and we just gonna keep doing what we do, and that's everything, you know. So 10 years from now, I would love to see us in a space over town. Like I said, so many things have motivated me for this station. Do the right thing. Samuel L. Jackson had a radio station, and he outlooked the street. That was one of the things that I wanted. You know, I wanted to be able to be inside of my community, for my community to see me and be like, yo, whoever's doing the show up there, look, they doing the show at cmpradio.net, you feel me? What the weather like? You know what I'm saying? Y'all about to play this track, I'm about to play this. So I wanted that. I saw that. I still envision that. And so 10 years from now, man, we still gonna be plugging away. It'll be some younger cats up here doing it, you feel me? Because I didn't never want to be the face of the station. I didn't want to be the person that you saw every day. But I had to.
Yeah.
Because nobody else really wanted to do it. But if you're going to do it, then I need you to understand what the station is here for. It can't be used for evil. It can't be used for negativity. So good energy, bro, is what we need to pass out. I know everybody doesn't wake up every day in a good mood, because we damn sure don't every day.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But when that camera comes on, and we'll fake it. It's been some mornings where we haven't been able to fake it, but you know, people understand we're human.
Yeah.
You know, but majority of our shows have been about good energy and positivity. So 10 years from now, man, sky's the limit, bro. Sky's the limit.
Now, 2 more questions. I know it's too soon to ask this, but where do you want your legacy to be when it's all said and done with this radio station and pertaining to the city of Chester?
I want my legacy to be in my children's hands. That's it. How about you?
Mine too. I'm molding minds
Right.
to do not this, but to do other things that I do in the community. Feed the homeless. I tell them how important it is. Everybody's one slip away from being exactly that. I want my children to know that good outweighs the bad. I was raised differently than I raised them, and I never ever want them to settle. So I don't want their struggle to be my struggle. And I don't want them to feel as though they have to struggle. I don't want to see my kids working 3 jobs at a time. And that's what I see for them. I see them being better than I am, but doing exactly what I'm trying to do now. So I see them giving to their community, understanding their community, and being more involved in their community sooner in life than I've ever been.
Right.
Okay. Oh, you had something?
No. She said it. I mean, basically, it's the same thing with me. I took pictures of my daughters and my son coming up here when we first opened up the station, and just to give them an opportunity to dream sooner. I really didn't start dreaming until 3 years ago, you know, and allow myself to be comfortable in dreaming. I just did whatever I needed to do to make money. Money was it. I dreamt about money every day and every night until I stopped dreaming about money. And then I started dreaming about the radio station and what it could be. And to see, like I said, 13 shows, bro. They 13 different people that come through here every day, 15, 16, 17, 18 different people that come through here every day, and they have a genuine love for this city, and it's growing every day from our sponsors, you know, from the people that believe in it and don't want it to go anywhere, to the people that just want to stand next to it and want to be connected to it. So my legacy, again, like I said, is with my children and with the people that I build with. Mm-hmm. With Nav's children. I love her kids like they mine. She love my kids like they hers. You know what I mean? And we want the next generation to understand love and understand it and what it takes to really build a strong community.
Now, lastly, we all know CMP Radio is a community-oriented organization. Are you concerned, let's say, a person that wants to invest in your company with deep pockets, are you concerned that they may want to change the overall mission and objective of your radio station?
No. No, I ain't gonna answer that because you already know how I feel. No, I can never be concerned that someone else would want to change it because I wouldn't allow them to. If you want to give money or you want to fund or you want to invest, then you're investing with it being the way that it is. You're not investing coming in and trying to steer it your way. The station will always have the same motto. The station will always be known for the same things. And 9 times out of 10, if you're investing, you're only investing so we can get better microphones, or we can get a building. Like, you're not investing to change the message.
No, never.
You feel me? So I would never, ever, 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 ever allow anyone to change the message and what we want to give to the community. Can you give us a better building that will allow us to help other businesses like ours? Like, because you're media, you know, Feedback the Magazine is media, Video Visions Pro is media, Chester Matters newspaper is media. If we could put all those businesses in one building, Stokes Entertainment is media. Yes God TV is media. You know, if we could put all those businesses in one building, it would be amazing. So the power in numbers far outweighs the money aspect. So no, I will never let anybody invest money in the station and change the message.
Never.
Since its debut in 2017, CMP Radio has carved a niche within the community while remaining true to themselves and the residents in which they speak to. For more information regarding CMP Radio, check out their website below, cmpradio.net. I'm Sonny Pinckney, feedbackthemagazine.com.